Hello and welcome to this course. And for those of you who don't know me yet, my name is Marcelo, and let me tell you a little bit about myself before we actually start this course. So I have a degree in system analysis, but since 2008, I'm actually working as a web designer, and since 2012, I've been working as a WordPress theme developer, creating themes and plugins for WordPress. I am an author of other courses about WordPress, about theme development and plugin development here in this platform. And at this moment, I have more than 30,000 students all over the world. I'm an author also of two books about subject, about theme development, one in Portuguese, which is my native language, and the other in English. WordPress for me is amazing. You will see throughout this course that I simply love working with it because we can create almost all of the things that you need, that you have in your mind using WordPress. From simple websites to a more complex plugin or a more complex application, you can use WordPress to build them. And what will be the purpose of this course here? So the main objective of this course is to create what I call a minimal viable WordPress theme. I mean, it's a simple theme. It doesn't have much of the features that a more complete theme has in WordPress, but it will be very useful for you to understand in depth how WordPress works and some of the features that it contains. So it will be a more introduction course about this subject so you can understand and can leverage WordPress for your project. And in the meantime, you get to know a lot of concepts behind WordPress. As it is an introduction to WordPress, I didn't mean to bring a complex project for you to build. But although it will be a simple website, a simple theme using WordPress, you will learn a lot with it and it will definitely work. And you can use those techniques later to get your HTML5 website or the one of your client and turn it into a viable and actual WordPress theme. And what is the use of all this? What is the use of WordPress? Suppose that you have a client that has a Node website built with HTML only, and that client wants you to turn it into a WordPress theme because, for example, he or she wants to update more frequently that website, or maybe they want to add posts to it and update those posts, or even they have a section of the website they want to update more frequently and more easily. What's the first step for you to take this HTML website and turn it into WordPress? Do you know how to do that? You know, a lot of you guys have difficulty doing this. And that's what I want to teach you in this course. Because it's simply not true that you can find a tool, an online tool that can help you just turn HTML into WordPress. There's no magic in all this. And you have to learn the techniques to just create a WordPress theme from scratch in order to take this HTML and transform it into WordPress. So that is what you have at the end of this course. You have a minimal WordPress theme that will simply work. And pay attention because there are prerequisites for this course. For example, if you want to follow it, you will need at least a basic knowledge of HTML, of course, but also CSS and PHP. You don't have to master PHP in order for you to follow this course, but a basic knowledge will be welcome. So let's get to know our challenge. The first thing that you'll need is to download a folder with the initial template that we'll be using throughout this course, okay? All of the links will be available for you in the second lecture of this course. And this one, for example, this link will be available. And you simply access this link here, which will take you to this Google Drive folder. And just go ahead and download this to your computer. And go ahead and just extract this file. And this will be the base template for this course. It's called Minifolio and it's an HTML template I downloaded from a site called freecss.com. I have to actually adapt it, modify some of the files of this original template in order for it to act as a one-page template, because originally it is a template that has more than one page. But I think a one-page template, it's a more simpler way for you to understand how WordPress works, at least for you guys that are starting with WordPress. One of the things that I highly recommend to you is that you follow the course using only this material, alright? Because I'm sure that you have your own HTML5 structure ready, or the one of your client, and you want to follow the course and implement all of the concepts you'll be learning. But don't do this, alright? Follow the course using only this material. And then after the course, after you have a more global understanding of how WordPress works, you can just go ahead and use your own material to test your knowledge, alright? What is the main characteristics of this template here that I'm offering to you? It's a very simple template, but it will be used to introduce you to the main subjects and the main techniques of WordPress. The main functions, for example, we'll be using it to learn about how loops work, how you can create your menus using WordPress, how you can use widgets and widget areas. If you don't know what widgets are yet, you'll be learning everything about them in this course, right? We'll be also using it to implement our plugins into the theme, and you know how to integrate them in your theme. So let's open this HTML file, for example, here, and you see how this template is organized, alright? So let's open it. It's a simply HTML structure. We have here some effects in place that the template already has, because the idea here is not to create everything from scratch. For example, we will not be creating from scratch all of the JavaScript effects that this template has. The main idea here is doing the same thing that you yourself will be doing in your own project. For example, you'll be getting a ready template, a ready HTML structure, and bring that structure with everything it has, with all of the effects, with everything implemented, and bring all of that to WordPress. So what this template brings to us? If you see here, you have this effect when we scroll down the page. We have also those areas here, this one here, and this one here too. We have this portion here with some portfolio items with this effect when we mouse over them. Also, when we click them, we have this fancy light box here. Scrolling down, we have also this area here. And below, we have also a contact form. And then a type of menu with some social icons. It is also responsive, so if we inspect this page and we resize the page here, you see that we have this menu, this bootstrap menu in place. And if we click here, you see that it's working, and it's a very interesting menu that will be bringing it to WordPress too. So I'm not going to create this from scratch. It is already implemented in the template. We'll be bringing this to WordPress the way it is, alright? What is the big advantage of bringing all of this to WordPress? The first advantage is that the site will be more dynamic. So for example, especially for your client, if they want, for example, to modify this description here, or this name here, or this picture here, and more importantly, if they want to, for example, add one more portfolio item to this list here, WordPress will help them a lot, because it will be like editing a Word document. Of course, it's not the same thing, but it is as easily as editing a Word document. And of course, most of your clients don't have any idea of how to deal with code, and WordPress will help them a lot with it. So let's see more about this template here. Let's open it in the editor. Let's go back to our folder here. and I'll be using VS Code as our main editor. So I have it opened here. Let's grab this folder, this mini folder, and drag it to VS Code. You can of course use whatever IDE you want, okay? It doesn't need to be VS Code, but I recommend you to use VS Code because it's an amazing tool. So here we have some folders. We have a CSS folder, a fonts folder, images, JS, and an index.html file. At first, we'll be ignoring this images folder because we only have here the images we'll be using for our theme, but we're not leaving this structure as it is now because all of these images will be attached to the actual post of our installation. You'll see that in practice later, okay? What more? So let's open our index.html and let's see what we have inside it. So it's a plain HTML file. It has a doc type, an HTML tag, a head tag with the calls for the CSS files here. And if we scroll down this file, you'll see that at the end we have also the calls for the JavaScript files. And the author of this template here did this amazing job of leaving all of those scripts at the end of the file, before the end of this body tag. And we have to be aware of this because the same behavior needs to be applied to our WordPress theme, because otherwise it won't work, okay? You'll see that in practice later how we can add all of those scripts to the footer of our page, right? So what more? Here at the top we have a header tag with our navigation. We will be creating another navigation inside WordPress. It won't be the same navigation, right? We'll be adding a menu using the WordPress structure and the WordPress functions. What more? We have also this banner at the top and an About Me section, and also a Works section with, let me see, 8 work items in total. You see guys that all of the items have the same markup. We'll be using that in our favor to create what we call a WordPress loop, and you guys, you understand that in the future, alright? What more? We have this Hire Me section, and just below we have this contact form here that we'll be bringing to WordPress too, but we'll not be using this this markup here because we'll be using a plugin in order to deal with our forms. And just below, another menu with some social icons. It seems a lot complicated in the beginning, but I promise you it's not that complicated to turn all of this into WordPress, into a WordPress theme. I'll be always here, of course, to help you. And if you have doubts and if you have questions and difficulties, use the Q&A in the platform and let me help you, alright? So that's all for this lesson here. In the next one, we'll be building the environment for us to create our theme. What we'll be doing in practice is we'll be installing WordPress the right way using an application called Local. So thank you for watching this lesson and see you in the next one. Bye!